They look phenomenal, and really the 33-19 score is a little misleading because we were up, was it 33-9 with just a little bit of time left in the fourth quarter. So ECU got some late scores, but really, they only had the big touchdown. I think it was their second drive of the game. They broke one big score, and it looked like, oh, this could be a shootout. But App's D, they put their heels in the ground, and they stuck them. They didn't let them get anywhere. And there was all this hype around the quarterback of ECU. He had a resemblance of like Tim Tebow. I didn't see Tebow.
Nope. So, Tebow left the building.
Yeah, so it was nice. And, and I think the other, obviously the other quarterback in the conversation, Chase Bryce, and it looked like he was a little early, some early miscues or just maybe a little too excited, but then he just dropped that. He dropped it right in the bucket to T. Henny on the deep shot. And T. Henny, we had him on. We said he had to find his inner Steve Smith, and I saw it. I saw it in that play. That was the ice up son moment for our boy T. Henny. Beautiful route, and then just a perfect pass. So just want to see those two continue to connect. The more time they have, the more game experience they have. I think this is a fit for Chase Bryce, and I think that's a question we may unpack just throughout the season because we know who he was at Clemson. Duke was kind of a train wreck in some ways. It was, he led the FBS and interceptions. App State just seems like a match made. So I'm excited, and we have so many weapons on this team. The other thing I thought about was just talking with T. Henny and Cato is just the senior leadership on this team. And I'm sure there's a lot of teams like it, but the unique part is just with COVID that now you have these super seniors, or in Cato's case, a redshirt freshman who this was Cato's 6th training camp.
Exactly.
And he's a man. He is a man out there. He is not like a college kid. And
he's Bishop Sycamore out there.
Yeah, and same with T. Henny, a 5th-year senior, that I look at this team. This team is so special. And you have Chase Bryce transfer. Is he a transferred senior? Like, would this be – he's either a junior or senior.
He would be a senior, but because of COVID, he still has 2 more years of eligibility. Or he has this year and next year of eligibility.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, it's just – this team is so fun to watch. And maybe selfishly – in the pub because we've had so many of these guys on, but just watching them, there's something about this team that is really unique, and no better way to start than just smacking ECU. I mean, really, the score is misleading. Like it really, we smacked them, and so just great to watch. And again, every time, we've said this before, every time we have a game where we beat a big-time school, we know we got high schoolers watching in South Carolina, in Georgia, in North Carolina, Florida, going, who is this team in the black and gold? Maybe I should consider App State. So I think it just continues to progress on our way to build the powerhouse. But yeah, go Nears, baby.
No, awesome. You're absolutely right. I mean, because of this, and then we get to go play Miami in Miami at an NFL stadium, recruits are going to have eyes on us. And as long as we keep producing the way we are, Yeah, we got something good. Like the Big 12 might be calling us to replace Texas and Oklahoma. You
Oh,
you never
screw
know.
that. No.
I don't know if you saw, like, they're trying to get Cincinnati, UCF, BYU, and there's another school they're trying to target to replace Texas and Oklahoma. I don't know, man. It's a
No,
mess, but
you know what
we'll
it
unpack
is?
that later.
It's going to be perfect for us because all these big schools are going to go into these conferences. They're going to beat each other up. And then eventually they're going to say, all right, we got to have one at-large team make the playoffs. Well, dang it, App State's undefeated again. Like, let's,
Exactly.
like, it's all right. If this is how y'all want to play, sure. But I'm just waiting for that at-large bid and then give the nod to App State. This is wishful thinking, but
Yeah,
there's a part of me that's like, it's not that crazy, is it? Like, it's not that insane. So,
you might be a mind of a genius there.
or like the UCF, like, we just have to be UCF. Like, we just have to be the undefeated team that's gonna get the nod. Like, we just have to get to that level where we're big enough to get the nod.
Exactly. Yeah. I think you're right. I think we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer each year, and I'm excited to see it. Let's talk about another game here. Virginia Tech, UNC. Jay Gray, the queen, her sip of death, first one of the season, and she nails it.
She's undefeated, and she is the queen. She is the queen for a reason. I doubted on my end, but I have to eat my words on that.
I mean, one hell of a game, and she was right. I mean, Lane Stadium it's a masterpiece, and it's hard to go in there and play, especially with young skill talent. Yeah, you have Sam Howell, but everybody else is rookies out there, and so, I mean, it showed. It really showed from, I was coaching last night, so I didn't get to watch it live, but I watched back some of the highlights and stuff, and just a lot of miscues, it looked like, on a lot of young rookie parts. But I still don't think Sam Howell's out of the Heisman conversation yet. I don't think Virginia Tech is a contender either. It's one hell of an upset. It's the first upset of the season, so I'm excited for it.
What was UNC's rank?
They were ranked 20th.
Okay. It did seem like a reach for the ranking.
Oh,
I do remember seeing that, and it's like, I think I thought North Carolina would win, but it'd be really close. Like, I thought it was going to be a good game, but I didn't think Virginia Tech was going to be very good.
Right.
But I don't know. That's the whole madness of week one, is people are ranked who shouldn't be, and teams are unranked who could finish in the top 10. So it's just madness. And this is one of those games. It's like UNC's probably on their way to lose like 4 or 5 games this year.
Yeah.
At least, at least.
I stand corrected. I was thinking what they should have been ranked is 20th at most. They were ranked 9th.
Yeah, that's the thing. Exactly. They're not the 9th best team in the country.
Hell no.
I think we knew that coming in.
Yeah.
And it's just that's just Sam Howell is just, Sam Howell. Okay, top 10.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're absolutely right.
Which this is my whole beef with college football in general, but we'll save that.
We've been there, done that another day, yeah. And then we've got to talk about this young man, Mohammed Ibrahim. Was just a man on a mission against Ohio State. He about pulled up the upset for the whole damn state of Golden Gopher, Minnesota up there. Had 30 carries. That's a hell of a workload. Going into the fourth quarter, 163 yards, 2 tutties, gets injured, and Minnesota eventually falls to Ohio State. Fitz, you about called this upset.
I know. This was my upset pick. And I was even hoping, I thought it'd be a safe bet. They gave Ohio State by 14. That's how much Ohio State won by. I thought Minnesota would actually cover the spread, even if they lost. I figured it was going to be good. Big fan of PJ Fleck. And they've always been up there in the Big Ten matchups and in the, fighting for a spot. Now they got to slay Samson. They got to defeat Ohio State.
You're right.
But they've always been there. They've always been there in the back door, and I'm just kind of waiting for them to have their moment. I didn't get to see much of this game. I had the app game on. I was keeping an eye on the scoreboard. They had them on the ropes, and really it was a fumble and a defensive touchdown for Ohio State, that was the turning point.
It's a gut punch.
And you can't do that in a game. I think I said it coming into the upset is Minnesota has to play perfect. Like they cannot. There's no room for error, and that's one of those things you can't do. You cannot fumble in your own territory, and then they scoop and score. So I mean, you can't turn over the football like that. You can't do that.
No, yeah, I mean you're absolutely right, and you're in an environment like the Big Ten going against that juggernaut. One mistake is huge, and you're absolutely right. It cost them. But man, if you would have called this upset, that would have been hell of impressive.
I wanted it. I wanted it.
But I think we saw that Ohio State's not as good as we thought they were. I mean, they're ranked 4 right now, and they faltered a little bit. Minnesota's no slouch, but it's definitely they should have had that much trouble with them early on.
Well, it's changing of the guards, which and I want to talk a little bit about this with Clemson, but just Justin Fields, was the guy. Now you got a different QB at the helm. Trevor Lawrence. Now you got a different QB at the helm. And, I know that sometimes it does work out. It's like, oh my gosh, we go from Deshaun Watson did they go straight from Deshaun to Trevor Lawrence? Was that the deal, or was there a gap year in between?
Cam Bryant was the gap year.
Cam Bryant.
But then Touchdown Jesus took over.
That's right.
3/4 of the way through the season, I think.
Mm-hmm. But it was real quick. Bama, they always seem to have guys. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you really hit a miss. So So I think that's just something to keep an eye on with Ohio State. I'm not sure they got their guy.
No, I think that he will be the guy. It's gonna take more than an off season, a fall camp, to get him to where he needs to be. I mean, the only school I can really think of that had really good back-to-back quarterbacks right away was Oklahoma with Mayfield and then Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
But then after Murray, they had it off. Spencer Rattler had to learn, and now he's supposed to be the next guy up. I think it's going to take a little learning transition time for him. But, I mean, it's not going to be Ohio State like we're used to, I don't think, this season. Mm-hmm. Could be wrong. We've been wrong before on the pub.
We have been wrong.
Abraham, we wish you P's and T's, man, speedy recovery. And if, hey, you got some extra money in your pocket, go use Pure Spectrum CBD. That'll get you back on the field in no time. Use code PUB20 at 20% off. You don't want to miss it. Listeners, you do the same thing. You'll feel like a champ. Should we go into pick'ems? This is going to be a short show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, let's do it. I love pick'ems. And we started it with a sip of death pick. Oh, we started with App and then a sip of death pick of Jay Gray. She gave us 2 sip of death picks on this week's podcast. If you haven't listened to it, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Go listen to episode 66 right now. Well, after this show. Then do it. But she called UCLA, LSU. She's feeling an upset over in California. She's picking Chip Kelly and the UCLA Bruins against Coach O and the LSU Tigers. I can't do it as good as Devin. I mean, Devin's Coach O impersonation's money. But LSU is favored -150 with a -3 spread. What do you say?
I'm not big on Chip Kelly. I really am not. I think even in Oregon, I was like, when is this going to fail? Like, because it's just this offense just doesn't. The option offense is just doomed. I don't think it's going to be successful on certain levels. So it's amazing that he finds success. So I'm curious with this matchup, but I'm going to take LSU. I think Coach O. I think LSU. They've proven they're a team. They are like in the top 5 teams. I just think UCLA struggles. I don't think they can get it done.
Yeah, I'm not typically sold on UCLA. I'm not typically sold on Pac-12 teams. They just always seem to kind of choke when it's important. Chip Kelly, I loved him in Oregon. I love what he did. He should have never went to the NFL. We talked about it before we hopped on air. And if college to NFL coaches, it doesn't work out typically unless you're a really players coach like a Pete Carroll. Then it's going to work. But if not, then it's not going to work. I think he tried to have too much control.
It's when your offensive strategy, like there's certain strategies that are only going to work in college.
Yeah,
And Chip
absolutely.
Kelly is a perfect example of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to work on the pro level.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. And also trying to control what grown men eat and do in their free time. Like, it's not going to work. Like, come on, Chip. You can do that to high schoolers. You can do it to college athletes. It's not NFL athletes. This doesn't work. But with that being said, if he rocks that white visor right there, I'm taking Chip Kelly, UCLA Bruins. The visor Chip Kelly is elite Chip Kelly. That's the one UCLA deserves. Give me the Bruins. Let's go. Moving on to our next one. Pretty big game here. Some people think it's going to be a blowout, including my bookie. They're going to say Alabama and the Crimson Tide a minus 19.5 point favorite. I think King and Miami can put up a little fight here. Do I think they can win? I'll get there in a second, but what do you say?
Man, it's a good spread for Miami to cover. Like, I could see them losing by 17.
Yeah.
I would take, I'm going to pick Bama, but I'm hesitant to jump on that. It's going to be close to the spread. Bama's going to win by 20. Like, I think that's
man.
Is like and Miami's not going to cover, but it's going to be like right on the cuff of that spread.
It's going to be right there.
It'll be either 17 or 20, like a field goal away from money line.
See, I had the same thing when I was putting bets in this morning. I was like, man, Miami, I think they could cover, but it's also Miami. And so they might just choke. Like, it could be really close or not. I'm picking Alabama. Of course, I'm taking that money line. You have to. They're just so damn good. But you know what? Give me Miami with the points. I think they make it 17 points. I like that, Fitz.
I
like
think
it.
it's
Right there on
worth
the cusp.
it. And I think the payoff's pretty nice. I think if you're feeling like, hey, it gives me something to watch, gives me something to kind of occupy my time, I would say go for it. Just go for the points. And if it happens, great payoff. If not, just back to square one.
Exactly. By the way, young man right here, that
number one,
yeah, right there, yeah, number one.
Which number?
First name?
One? Just kidding.
Yeah, I know. First name Kool-Aid. Signed an endorsement deal with Kool-Aid.
He did not. He didn't change his name though, did he?
No, his name was already Kool-Aid. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. His
name's Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Go look at it. He's a true freshman. I think he's going to be a baller for Alabama.
Oh
but one hell of an NIL deal. Mom set him up from the jump 18 years ago. She knew this was going to happen. It's like, hey, you're going to endorse with Kool-Aid, my friend.
Man, I want to see him doing like Marshawn Lynch on the sideline, just like just the powder. Just, like the powder, then some water. That'd be crazy.
Or just straight snort it. Just Kool-Aid to the dome. Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
Next game, Indiana Hoosiers, who had one hell of a season last year. If it wasn't for this young man tearing his ACL, they might have made some big noise, maybe shocked the world. They're going against Iowa. Iowa's supposed to be rebuilt, reloaded, and coming in hot to compete for that Big Ten championship. So Iowa's only favored by 3 points. This one, it's tough for me. I don't know, because Indiana's coming off that one hell of a season. Iowa's supposed to be stacked. What do you say?
Yeah, Indiana's so weird because they're like a forever basketball school, and then all of a sudden they've been like, again, Ohio State last year. I think it was similar to Minnesota. They had them on the ropes for 3/4 of the game, and then just couldn't finish. Iowa, football school.
Yeah,
and they're always. I have to go Iowa. I can't go against Iowa in their opener. Is it at Iowa?
It is at Iowa.
Yeah. You gotta take the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Hawkeyes at home. I'm
with you. Yeah. You have to.
They don't have anything else in Iowa. Like, this is it's like Nebraska. It's like when they host the opener, this is what people live for. They're just like, oh man, it's 220 days till the next opener or like whatever.
Dude, all right, maybe I'm going to change my pick because you just compared to Nebraska. Oh man,
I mean,
you just
when
Danny
Nebraska was
dived us
good,
over
I'm
here.
thinking when Nebraska was good, like in
Yeah,
the early 2000s.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm taking the Hawkeyes too. It's at home. If they don't get this done, all that hype was for nothing. Nada. The other Duke Mayo's Classic, App and ECU played in the first installment of it. Now in Charlotte tonight, we have major heavyweights hitting it off. Clemson, Georgia, they're getting after it. What do you say? Clemson's a -3 favorite.
Yeah, this is the game that, especially I think for everybody, this is definitely the game of the week. Even though Clemson has had a lot of changing of the guards, no Trevor Lawrence, no Travis Etienne. So is Clemson this good? I think that's the question, which is so weird because they've been toe to toe with Bama for the past, maybe just under a decade. But Bama always feels like they can reload. Bama feels like, all right, we know Bama's going to be number one and they'll be good and they'll be set. Clemson, there's always a question mark. There's always, okay, is this the year they struggle? Is this the year they're not able to do it? So it's kind of keeping an eye on that. We did see their backup last year, who I have no idea how to announce his name.
DJ Ukulele. That's wrong, but
DJ Ukulele. DJ Ukulele. But I wasn't super impressed with him because I thought he played. Didn't he play against Notre Dame? Didn't he play against you guys?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And I just remember, I felt like the defense basically carried Clemson, and I was not impressed with him. And again, you got Etienne. I feel like his responsibility is just like take care of the football, give the ball to Etienne, trust your defense, and we'll be good. So I could see him struggling. I think also Georgia, they just got some hogs on the line. I think it's going to be Georgia's defensive line versus the Clemson O-line. I think that's going to be what to watch, and I think there could be a lot of sacks. I think again, a pick, maybe two. Like he's going to have pressure. The one difference maker is Clemson's running back, and I can't remember his name either. I'm not the college football head. I'm so pumped for NFL, but I know let me pull up their roster here.
And while you're doing that, Georgia's got some injuries. Obviously, not to those hogs you were talking about, the defensive line, but some of their star wideouts, some of their key offensive weapons are hurt. Now they do have JT Daniels back starting at quarterback for them, who had a decent season last year, threw for 1,200 plus yards, 10 tutties, not bad stats for him. Going against DJ, who is green, and I think there's a lot of newcomers on the Clemson offense. It's going to be interesting.
Okay, it's a first year running back, Will Shipley. He's the guy to watch. Okay. Number one. This guy right here.
Yep.
And he is everyone's raving about him. I think CJ Spiller actually came out, beloved Clemson back. He actually came out and spoke and just said, this guy is about to tear this league up. So it's kind of those, with the Etienne case, this guy may be not only filling the shoes, but he may just take the reins as, possibly one of the best Clemson running backs we'll see. So there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of expectation there. So that is the one difference. But yeah, I'm taking Georgia. I actually do think Clemson, I think this is too tough a matchup. Week one, it's a new team in Clemson. I think they struggle.
I like that. You're taking Georgia just for fun. I'm taking Clemson just so that way we don't have a clean sweep all these picks.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Well, besides LSU and UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll take Clemson. I think with some of the key injuries Georgia's had, I think it might bite them, especially late in the game. But we'll see. Clemson's green, so it's going to be it's going to be a hell of a game. Just not the same type of performance we're used to Clemson playing, I think.
The only thing I will say is with Duke's Mayo, South Carolina does the tomato sandwich better than anybody. Just ripe tomatoes, Duke's Mayo on the sandwich.
Hey, so you're saying
I don't think Georgia is this might be unfamiliar territory for them. But I don't know if they're really into mayonnaise as much as our brothers and sisters in South Carolina, in the Palmetto State, if you will.
Hey, baby. That's an advantage for Clemson. I'm definitely hammering them now, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, so I think Clemson could get it done for Dukes, but we'll see.
And then one more final pick'ems game, Penn State, Wisconsin. This is going to be a juggernaut battle. I've got a feeling Penn State is the underdog here. It's in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's supposed to win by 5.5 points. It's tough, man.
I hate that line.
Yep.
Because I think a field goal could decide this game. But that's a lot to gamble on.
Yeah, 19 versus number 12.
A lot of things can happen outside just a field goal winning the game. I'll take Wisconsin and don't touch I wouldn't touch the spread.
You're going to take them straight up.
Take them straight up.
Yeah. This is tough. It's 19 versus 12. I mean, that's plenty of wiggle room there. Like, they could be flip-flop by a flip of a coin. I like Wisconsin too. They're at home. Give me the Badgers. They cheese all over Penn State and the Nittany Lions. I like it. But, I mean, a lot of good games across the board here. One more we got to talk about just because I'm wearing the horns down hat. Louisiana, Ragin' Cajuns, ranked 23rd. It's a little head scratching for me. I'm not going to lie. Going against number 21, Texas. Texas is an 8.5-point favorite. I'm pulling for the Ragin' Cajuns because if they beat Texas and App turns around and beats them in a couple weeks, we're sitting really, really pretty.
Yeah. If Ragin' Cajuns win and then we beat the Ragin' Cajuns, we basically beat Texas. Right? That's how college works. That's how college works, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, I like it. We're pulling for you, Ragin' Cajuns. That's probably one of the few times you hear us say that, but we're pulling for you. Go get it done. Hey, that's it. Anything else college-related you want to talk about? Good. Next week, we'll be back. As always, go catch our live show Tuesday nights at 7:15 Eastern Time. Don't miss out. Saturdays, we'll be back. Got special guests lined up for us, fingers crossed, for the whole college football season. So hopefully we keep it rolling. But you guys have one hell of a weekend. Enjoy it. Be safe. Go bet on some sports. Pour one up. Enjoy it.